Hello everyone, today we are going to be doing a soil capped in sand. Probably the cheapest and easiest way to do a fantastic planted tank. So we're going to use this aquarium rimless that I got on sale. It was like 20 bucks. Got some F-Zone mini lily pipes or nano lily pipes. Cascade 500, really nice because the tubing already matches up with the tiny diameter of the lily pipes there. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, now in order to do this properly, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need some soil. You're going to need a coarse strainer. I use a spaghetti colander. And then a flour sifter to get the fine particles out of here. And you're going to be using a lot of soil in order to get what you need for the actual aquarium, but it still is pretty cheap. Some people will say don't get anything with perlite in it, which is those little white granules there. I don't really care because I'm going to sift it all out. So just slowly go, fill the colander, shake it a little bit, and once you're done and you have enough, then you go through with the flour sifter. Dispose of the rest. Because I'm doing this solo, I can't really show you me pouring the soil in here, but that is in fact what I'm doing when the camera's not on. And you just give it a good shake over and over and over again. It's going to take a while, and basically you just want to get out as many of the big chunks as you can. So we will fast forward this here in a second once I'm done doing one load of it, and I'll show you what's left over. All right, so it took me about 2 minutes to sift through this one colander here, and as you will see, we've got a nice fine powder mix right here. There are still a few big chunks that made it through, like this twig here. If you want, you can pick it out now. I try to make my life easier, but ultimately once you get the flour sifter going, you're gonna strain all that stuff out. So we're probably gonna need about 3 more buckets for this, or 3 more colanders for this 10-gallon. So I'll go ahead and do that and get you back with the final product. Okay, now here we are, 3 buckets down. This next step, just take your flour sifter like this, and you just start sifting as much of this stuff out as you can. It's going to take a little bit of time, probably twice as long as it took you to do the first portion here, but you'll notice that there's just more and more perlite that's picking up, and you slowly get through it, but you just stick with it, get them all done, and then you'll be left with a final product that has almost no perlite in it, and it is really fine. So I will be back again once I waste 20 minutes. All right, so it's been about halfway through. This is the coarse sifted pile of dirt, and this is our flour sifted pile of dirt, which is much fluffier and thinner and beautiful. There's still some perlite in here, but that's okay. Once we're done sifting this, we'll sift it one more time, just get out all the chunks, and then we'll be ready to put it into our aquarium. Okay, well, congratulations to everybody that hates themselves enough to use a colander and then a flour sifter and come up with this very nice chocolate cake batter looking stuff. The next step is you're going to flatten it out in your bucket here, and you're going to see any big chunks of perlite, and you're just going to grab it and toss it in. You don't have to be exact. You just grab all the dirt that's with it, and you get through the final sift. Now I've done this once already, and as you can tell, most of it is left in there, and I'm just going through one more pick session. There, we're gonna flatten it out, find any chunks of perlite, grab it, toss it in, and then you're gonna sift it one more time, and it should be pretty good. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, gee, Brandon, if you weren't such a dumbass, you'd buy some soil without the perlite in it, and then you wouldn't have to go through this. Well, I am the master of the dirt tank, and I want to let you know that the perlite keeps you honest. Because believe me, if you don't take your time and sift it in this exact same fashion, regardless of if you have perlite in it or not, you're going to end up getting sticks under the sand. You're going to pull a plant up, and then you're gonna get a bunch of sticks on top of your sand, and you don't wanna do that. Then you gotta go in, you gotta grab it. Oh look, it's a chunk of mud, and it just blew up like a nuke inside your aquarium. Well, now you gotta clean that too. But if you do it the right way, just like this, and you only have fine cake batter like dirt inside the bottom of your aquarium, if you pull a plant, you're just gonna get a little cloud. And if you run a siphon at the exact same time you pull the plant, absolutely nothing's gonna show up in your tank. And now you've got the greatest aqua soil possible for about $6 for your entire aquarium. Unless it's a 75, then you're gonna spend 12. So you go ahead and compare that with your ADA, and you're gonna realize that you saved yourself about $160 because you spent an hour sifting dirt like a moron. We'll be back. Okay, now we're at the very important step before adding this dirt to our aquarium. What you're gonna wanna do is add a splash of water. Not much, less is more. And what you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna wanna make this into a sticky, clumpy mud. That way you can put it in your tank the right way. Now remember, you can always add water. It's really hard to subtract water. So we'll mix this up, make it into a nice thick compound like this. Not watching my camera. And then once we do that, we'll go ahead and add it into the aquarium. We'll get it organized, then we'll add sand, and you'll be done. All right, here we are. It was actually 6 colanders. I had to go back and do everything that I did before one more time. And now we have a layer at the bottom, which is just dirt. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk through the messy fish room, and we're gonna grab, this is some seachem flourite. You can use anything. You can use sand if you want. And you're gonna pour some in, I don't know. That looks pretty good right there. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna mix it all in there. So you're gonna have some sand and some soil mixed up really, really good. And then you've probably seen those aquascaping tools that people use, and they're looking all cool using that stupid metal spatula when you could just use your hand to flatten out the substrate. Turns out that it's super helpful for this next part. Also turns out that it's a complete waste of space, and I threw mine out. So once we get this mixed up real good in here, we're gonna go over what our next step is gonna be. And it's kind of hard for me to record this and also do the work at the same time, but it is what it is. So what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start packing this in the middle here. You want about an inch, inch and a half. And we're clearing it around from the edges because nobody wants to look at soil from the outside of the aquarium. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the phone down and get this pretty, and then we'll come back for the last part. All right, so here we go. We got this stacked up about an inch, inch and a half. We got a little canal around the entire edge here where we can put some sand. And then we're gonna go ahead and cap the top. So, I don't have any hands. Well, I can't hold the camera with anything. I'm just gonna put it down right over here. And hopefully, y'all can get a decent view of how I do this. So you wanna start around the outer rim. Do the outer rim first. Sounds like sci-fi, the outer rim. Once it's down in there, just go ahead and add the sand to the rest of the aquarium here. Pause for a moment, spread it out. Nice even layer all the way around. Alright, so we're about a centimeter from the soil. So we want a little bit more. We want to do about an inch and a half if you want. So if you make a 2-inch pile in the middle, then it should increase everything about a 1/2 inch on each side. It's simple math. There we go. It's probably good. So this is where we're at right now. The soil was about to here, so we got a good 3/4 to 1 inch of sand on top of that. That's going to keep that soil from floating around. Got about a centimeter of space from the outer rim of the aquarium here. That is just sand, but the roots are going to find their way to the dirt, and that dirt's going to have a lot of nutrition for them. It's a really cheap way to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with some water and then turn the filters on and go from there. All right, so here we are, pretty much the final product. One important step. As you can see, plenty of air bubbles coming out. You're going to want to take these tweezers, and my daughter's calling me for dinner. I'll be right there. Go through, give it some pokes. Most of this is around the sides where there's just sand. I mean, you can even look down here and you can just see the air trapped in there. Oh yeah. As you can see, there's just not tons of soil coming up and making this terrible, as you might think that there would be, but you'll get some. It happens, it's occasional. But if you've taken your time and sifted everything properly, it's not something you need to worry about. Now, if only I had that really long metal spatula, I could flatten this all out. Oh, look at that. My hand works totally fine. Who would have thought? There we go. So pretty. But I'm not going to plant this until tomorrow. I guess I'll do a video for that. Not that everybody wants to see plants being planted in an aquarium, but whatever. Maybe you do. Maybe you need some inspiration. I've got this new 55-gallon. Show me your tank for inspiration. That's what Facebook is. All right, let's turn our filter on. It's gonna be up here. All right. And presto. Look at that. All right, everybody. This is how you dirt your tank. Still have a couple small things to do. We're gonna put our CO2 diffuser in here tomorrow, and we'll throw some plants in here. I already know what plants I want to use, so thanks for watching. If you made it through the whole thing, Neil. And just remember, this is the best. Bye.